Hi, my name is Sarah Middleton, and I will be hosting your Jeopardy tonight. So, I wanted to start off by saying what it means to be an educator and what my values are. So, I believe that education is the cornerstone of our society and that we need to place more value than we already do on it. So, my philosophy of education is that every student deserves an equal approach to learning, and thus means that as an educator, I have to find the most equitable way to give my students that education. This can be found in forms of accommodations as well as modifications, as well as universal design for learning. I also plan to teach the curriculum in a new and fresh way so that students can be more engaged and learn more things. I also plan to use culturally relevant pedagogy so that students can find a safe place in my classroom. Over my time in this class, I have not changed my beliefs much, but I have definitely learned how I can use those beliefs in the realm of technology. So, tonight I will be your Jeopardy host, and we are going to play the game of ISTE standards for educators. So, we're going to start off with Standard 1. So, ISTE Standard 1 is for the learner. Educators continually improve their practice by learning from and with others by exploring proven and promising practices that leave technology to improve student learning. So for me, this means that I will continually take an active role in my own learning about technology and learning about how that can impact my students. So this means that I'll be continually learning new technologies, but one way that I've done that this semester was learning how to use Animoto for videos. Animoto could be used in a classroom for making book videos or anything like that, and we could also use this for students because they could learn new technologies as well. So let's go on to standard number 2. Standard number 2 is for the leader. Educators seek out opportunities for leadership to support student empowerment and success and to improve teaching and learning. For me, this means that every student feels empowered to learn through technology and they are reaching out to the technology that fits their needs. So, this means that for students who are potentially nonverbal, I would give them an AAC device, or I would allow them to use an iPad as an accommodation so that they can write their assignments and do things like that, because every learner is different and we need to realize that as educators. So our next 2 standards are 3 and 4, and I've combined them into one section. ISTE Standard 3 is for the citizen. Educators inspire students to positively contribute to and responsibly participate in the digital world. For me, this means that my students would be able to do things that would allow them to grow in the community. So, one thing that I would apply this in the classroom with would be allowing for my students to be able to have like a digital pen pal across the world so that they could learn about new and different cultures that are different to their own, so that they can become a global citizen. ISTE Standard 4 is for the collaborator, and this is educators dedicate time to collaborate with both colleagues and students to improve practices, discover and share resources and ideas, and to solve problems. For me, the standards mean that I will actively be participating and finding new ways for my students to learn and my colleagues too, so that I can collaborate with my colleagues to create the best experience for my students. So for my classroom, this could show up in many different ways. Maybe the students could make presentations about technologies that they find are really cool, and they could give it to their peers so that their peers could also learn about the new technologies and how they can use those technologies. And then I could also learn from my students too through those presentations. All right, Standard 5. Standard 5 is for the designer. Educators design authentic, learner-driven activities and environments that recognize and accommodate learner variability. So, this means that teachers can actively adapt their classroom and learning environment to fit the needs of the learner, because not every learner is the same and not every classroom should be the same for those learners. So this will come up in my classroom because I plan to give students voice and choice in what makes sense most for them. For example, if a student doesn't have the ability to do an assignment with the technology that I've assigned to them, I'll make sure that they have a technology that they can use so they can work along with other learners. All right, ISTE standard number 6. ISTE standard number 6 is for the facilitator. Educators facilitate learning with technology to support student achievement of the ISTE standards for students. So this basically means for me that I will provide a classroom experience that allows for students to grow their knowledge in their ISTE standards. This could be anything that involves making a product from technology or using something to make it so that they can learn better, because learning is ever changing and our products should be too. All right, ISTE standard number 7. ISTE standard number 7 is for the analyst. Educators understand and use data to drive their instruction and support students in achieving their learning goals. For me, there are so many meanings to this because there's not one way to be an analyst. You can change it however you want to interpret it, and that we just use this for our students to become learners. For me, this shows up in the exact fundamentals of how I want to be a teacher. I want to provide my students with the ability to show what they know and how they know it and what feels most comfortable to them. I will also use assessment data through forms like Google Forms to collect data and interpret it, because that will show you the way that things are and how they develop instruction. All right. I want to thank you for coming to watch my Jeopardy tonight, and I hope that you enjoyed it.